What's up, everybody? Somebody sent me this. It's kind of crazy. Some like fucking Groiper guy who watched some of my shit, knows Mr. Night Nation Review, sent me this. I heard I knew he was part of Propertarianism something. He has an internet presence there, but he actually witnessed the pissening up front. He was like filming it. Isn't this fucking crazy? Who would think such a thing? Like say, maybe I shouldn't be that surprised. But somebody sent me this, so from this timestamp, let's play it.
The failure to discover this law and adapt to it and apply to it, like the physical laws and the evolutionary laws we've discovered, is the reason why all other civilizations that even started far before ours stagnated, declined, or failed. Here on the court steps for a reason. This is not arbitrary. This is the law of this universe, the universe's God, and our people who discovered it.
Like, I don't know that much about Propertarianism, but this was the event they were supposed to almost like start a revolution or an insurrection or something. It's like they got some people, but this is pretty fucking pathetic looking. Now he's in NJP, so does this guy just go from fucking loser movement to loser movement?
And this law is why, even though we were not firstest, we always became the fastest. Yeah. And that is the secret to our competitive advantage. It's why we live better lives. This law that they seek to take from us.
What's up?
So this law isn't a plea, it's not a request. And we're not making a request, we're making a demand. The same demand our forefathers made. The same demand we've kept for 5,000 years! And let's make it clear that for men of ability and strength who have spent centuries trying.
I don't know, why does this guy film everybody? Like, not saying he's an operative or a Fed or something. I mean, I hope he is. That would be cool. But probably not. But still, like, this guy is a fucking cameraman. He's filming Propertarianism dudes, and he's also filming at NJP events. I don't know. Not sure about what's going on. Hopefully he's on our side. He's undercover. Anyway, look, they got this Propertarianism flag. Their whole this movement was a fucking disaster. It was like a bunch of revolutionaries that it was kind of sketchy because they talked about he even references getting 10, 50,000 people to start a revolution. But it's like, who the fuck would take these people seriously?
Transforming themselves, their people, and their civilization to mirror the laws of nature and nature's God. That the only reason for us to refrain from killing, conquering, pillaging, looting, enslaving, and surfing, tax farming, credit farming, and domestication of others for profit is if we cooperate by sovereignty and reciprocity. The only reason not to kill is non-aggression. And we being aggressed against!
Boogaloo boys come over and like interrupt this whole thing. They dismiss it as racist or whatever. I mean, they're freaks, all of them. And Black Lives Matter actually comes and interrupts this thing. I mean, they're all fucking freaks. That's why I stay away from shit like this. If they fight with each other, that's to the benefit of all of us, actually.
Are we still constrained from not?
No! That was horrible.
This is a harsh law. Like most laws of nature and nature's God that we have discovered, this law is not made for the comfort of man, but for the evolution of man.
Look at these fucking...
This law forces man to do the work of nature and nature's God on their behalf. It is not kindly to man. This law is a man's tragedy. It caused us to birth, our ancestors to birth, that thing we call tragedy and heroism. Because we do it anyway! And just as we struggled as heroically despite this tragedy, as others shrunk in horror from it, they shrunk into harmony, escape, denial, and the false promises. Those promises we most recently encountered in the reaction to the Industrial Revolution that we call the left. The program to reverse and deny those laws of nature and nature's God with which we drag mankind kicking and screaming against us out of ignorance and poverty, starvation and disease. Our American Constitution, like Mother England's before us, creates a government of rule of law. By that natural law that constrains our actions, constructs our commons, and from which we adjudicate.
This shit is so weird. Like, I don't think it's just because I'm not understanding the philosophy. I just think it's fucking weird and bizarre for the most part, whether you understand it or not.
Aren't just differences. No other people on this earth live under this law. Even Mother England lives under the sovereignty of Parliament, not the sovereignty of law. The sovereignty of law we seek to preserve and continue to use to drag ourselves and mankind for the next 5,000 years into the peerage with the gods!
Everybody, what the...
Now we succeeded! But all other peoples failed. They failed to remain sovereign. They failed to retain rule of law. Because they failed to retain the arms, the will to use them, that's necessary for the preservation of that law against the endless river of usurpers whose arrogance and hubris deny the laws of nature and nature's God.
This guy is such a blowhard. Like, who the fuck would follow this guy? Oh my god. Come on, shitty feed.
So all other people are ruled by men. All but us. We Americans. We few, we happy few.
Bad brother!
But we were weak, or naive, or too patient, or too full of tolerance, or too proud, or too confident. The enemy achieved with our destruction by depopulation, propaganda, taxation, credit, replacement immigration, what they could not achieve with ideas and equal or better achievements. They achieved by destruction what they could not themselves make.
This was like a national convention, I guess, and what they got, I don't know, I can't count well, 100, 200 people. It's like NJP's got more at this point, right?
And in this age, as in the ancient world, they destroy what themselves cannot make, cannot do, cannot equal. They destroy what they fail to understand. They destroy what they fear to face. We're the only people unafraid to face the truth of nature and God, nature's laws and God's laws. We're the only people that speak truth before face, regardless of cost, and bear the burden of reciprocity in our law, regardless of cost. And we defend that law, regardless of cost.
One of the guys from South Park, I don't really watch South Park, but like how he's like making a mockery of himself. There's fucking Mr. Night Nation Review right up front and center, filming him with a pogo stick. This is fucking weird.
Rule of law no longer exists. It's about us. If this government refuses to rule, to govern, to protect life and property, commons, if this government has abandoned us, our laws, God's law, then we have no choice but to declare this government incompetent, dissolved, and set about restoring our rule of law, restoring our rule of law, and set about restoring our rule of law, our Constitution, our rights, and those institutions to defend our life, property, and commons, and to restore rule of law by the people, for the people, as our Declaration, Constitution, ancestors, nature, and nature's God demand! Russia fell by the same technique they used against us.
The communist parasite!
China fell, and tens of millions died. Rome fell by the same technique, at the same rate, for the same reasons, and a dark age of 1,000 years where they reversed and ignored the nature's and God's law. Why? Because unlike us, men of conscience would not do what they must, regardless of the cost! Monuments. Monuments say, I own this land. Castles, carts, and parliaments say, I rule this land. Temples and churches say, I rule these people. Removing monuments say, I conquer this land. Occupying castles, parliaments, or courts say, I conquered this government. Building or temples or destroying churches say, I conquered these people. If one comes upon a territory or its institutions or its people with conquest rather than integration and accommodation, then one comes by way of war. If we follow nature's and God's law, reciprocity in all things, truth before face, and intolerance of any deprivation of them. So destroy our civilization once from within, destroy our temples, our statues, our arts, burn our letters, kill our philosophers, close our academies, and burn our books of science and technology, and bring about a dark age of 1,000 years that took us for all suffering to recover from, and shame on you for it. But destroy our civilization once again, as the left has done, from within by the same means a second time, well, shame on us, and we will not be shamed! Regardless of cost! It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time for all good men, and good men alone, the aid of their country, of their people, of their civilization, and by proxy, mankind. You save us from this false religion of lies, false promises, false possibilities, the hatred of our people, our civilization, the laws of nature and nature's God by which we live, a religion of lies, false promises, and false possibilities by which our enemies are inspired to destroy the treasury of our inheritance and the gift of our civilizations and
Come the Black Lives Matter blue boys.
White supremacy sucks! 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 No! White supremacy sucks! White supremacy sucks! White supremacy sucks! Hey! 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 I got a question!
Boogaloo Boy took over the show from Mr. Doolittle. I think this is like kind of the end of it on this live stream.
The Europeans who were stuff. It's just white nationalism without using the word white. I mean, it's white nationalism.
Yeah, no.
It was just all the Europeans. Line the sign and watch the game.
Him and I came together.
Travis!
Walking around.
What's the plan now? You sounded already?
Kind of weird.
I've got to look it up, but I think he's the president of the Propertarianism. But I mean, no.
God, this feed is horrible.
Buts about it. I mean, it's white nationalism.
Yeah, no.
It was just all the Europeans who were stuff. It's just white nationalism without using the word white. The creditors, all that kind of anti-Semitism again without using around. But not too much is happening here until that speech by the state senator. They basically went,
by the way,
and I'll try to cut some of it. But I definitely want to stay until that
video.
I like your magazine.
Shit is old.
Okay, so I am very pleased that this live stream has actually held up for now 3.5 hours. To be honest with you, I thought that my phone was going to fry in like 10 minutes in this heat. So, let's some 4th of July magic there. But anyway, things are basically, there's not really speeches going on at this point, except that they're expecting a state senator to speak.
Yeah, and this is the other part that was sent to me. This is like when Black Lives Matter fucking takes over Curt Doolittle's presentation or whatever. The fuck is it?
That's the truth.
It's fucking Black Lives Matter.
I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Why didn't you just get
Same guy
bro? Look, there. This is the bro.
This shit, these people listen. You know what? That's it. We don't feel the same, we don't feel the same. But that's all. It's mostly, I mean, if you look at the biology of it, it's mostly, honestly, you guys have bigger dicks and you're stronger evolution. All right, and you're also more social. You're also more sociable. And you're less prone to these are all things we know, right? We have the same thing. The difference is to get to where we are, we're all middle class, and to get using our gas and losing our muscles. Right? So the problem is, how do you get a bunch of guys together when they're 5 years old? And you're at, put my kid is white and strong, right? Put him with a bunch of Asian kids. He looks like a fucking bully. Right? Huh? I can't hear you, brother.
Do you mind if you address the crowd?
Tell me whatever, everyone. It's not about. We gotta stop this shit race, man. It's the enemy's technique to use black people once again as the tool by which to fuck us all over.
White Jack! White Jack!
That's I just know we got the microphone.
Listen up! Turn it up! We can hear you? Good? I'm Jafari Jones. I'm president of Black Lives Matter 757.
Yes.
We up here to stand in solidarity with the Second Amendment rights. We're here to put an end to the stigma that Black Lives Matter are thugs, that Black Lives Matter just come to loot and destroy communities. We came in here in solidarity with brothers in peace. Our chapter personally, we search for missing girls. We register voters. We help fellas restore their rights. We do food drives. We do toy drives. All the things in which the media will not show you. We come in peace, and we've been doing this for 4 years without a hitch. So if anybody tells you that we're about nonsense and about violence...
Well, at least somebody had this is like all there is to show. Pretty fucking boring, but somewhat entertaining how pathetic these groups are, how pathetic these events are. This was supposed to spurn like a revolution. He spoke about it online anyway. So I don't really have much more to say about these pathetic fucking people. But don't join fringe groups like this. That's what I would say. When these events happened, actually where I live, like South Florida, they had a bunch of these protests, and I actually was kind of tempted to go check it out just for laughs. But it's like, these people are fucking insane. These people, like the people on the left, the people on the right, like Black Lives Matter, and they battle Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and the Proud Boys, and the whatever other boogaloo crazy right wingers. They're all fucking crazy. And sure enough, somebody was actually shot and killed. Like, not a gangland shooting, like somebody with one of these ARs. Oh no, I'm mistaken. Somebody with an AR got shot. An AR and an AK type weapon. Because, I don't know, there was a confrontation with a vehicle. And then somebody actually shot from inside the vehicle, right? So it's like, yeah, stay the fuck away from these groups and these things. I stay away. I just make videos about them. That's dangerous enough for me. Anyway, whatever. Everyone have a good day.